Happy Friday. This may be a first on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Could Wisconsin's governor actually be arrested and criminally charged over a story we broke right here? Border czar Tom Homan suggests that's a very real possibility. Governor Ivers responds, plus another major exclusive here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. What massive hip-hop star is currently in a beef with the Milwaukee Mile, accusing it and the city's police department of being racist against him and his fans, while simultaneously deeply insulting Milwaukee's Greek community? Before we get to that, plus a local establishment in West Allis that we reported on some months ago, unfortunately forced to close its doors. We'll get into that in the 5 o'clock hour, as well as how bizarre, our weekly look back at the strangest stories of the past 7 days. You know, every day we bring you the daily Trump date, President Trump making a commencement address down south today, plus great jobs numbers. We named the Unhinged Liberal of the Day, the Unsung Hero of the Day. But before we get to anything else, let's bring you the Spring Green Cash Contest word this hour, and that word is bills, B-I-L-L-S, bills. You have got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword bills. If your entry is picked at random, you will win $1,000 to help you pay your bills. You want to join the Dan O'Donnell Show, and we will be welcoming your thoughts on our big story, which is probably going to take us much of the 3 o'clock hour to work our way through. 414-799-1130 is our adventknows.com talk and text line. You can reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, DOD@iHeartMedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. Watch the show streaming live via the Dan O'Cam on X, on Facebook, or on YouTube. We have already got a couple of our loyal YouTube viewers checking in. One guy who does his own podcast, longtime listener, followed us from the mornings, The American Joe Show. Always enjoy him checking in. JG Grinder. I don't want to know what the grinder is in reference to, but always a loyal fan, already checking in. Lively conversation on YouTube. That's where I would actually watch it. We want some more YouTube subscriptions. As the kids say, like and subscribe. Smash that like button. And please do subscribe to our podcast on the Dan O'Donnell Show. We are in the top 100 of every single podcast on iHeartRadio. It's almost unbelievable, frankly, since we are primarily a radio show. Also, JK checking in on YouTube saying, hi, Dan Nation. What we affectionately, please remember I am a professional broadcaster and radio host on multi-platform streaming terrestrial radio platforms. Yet sometimes I cannot get out of my own way. Jason says, hello, Dan. Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone checking in. Please subscribe to the Dan O'Donnell Show podcast, Top 100. And as you hear incessantly advertised, there are 250,000 podcasts. So, ladies and gentlemen, we must be doing something, right? And it would not be without you, our loyal listeners, members of Dan Nation. Let's get right to it. The newest, fiercest hip-hop feud is not Kendrick versus Drake. No one's accusing the other of being a pedophile, as Kendrick Lamar did in his hit song, a diss track against Drake that he actually performed at the Super Bowl. But there are allegations of racism coming from hip-hop and R&B megastar T-Pain after a canceled event at the Milwaukee Mile. Every year, T-Pain in Wisconsin, for the past 4 years, he has put together a concert that he calls Wisconsin Fest. Now, rather infamously, and this is one of the most hilarious lyrics in hip hop, in his 2008 hit Can't Believe It, T-Pain had the immortal line, "Put you in a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin." It is one of the greatest feats of lyrical mastery to rhyme mansion with Wisconsin. So Wisconsin has kind of been a hallmark of his. So every year for the past 4 years, he's put together a Wisconsin Fest at the Rave or Eagles Club. And this year, I'll admit, this is a massive star-studded hip-hop lineup. T-Pain will, of course, perform. Fade, who is a very hot rapper right now, Keisha Cole, Pusha T, Wale, Jermaine Dupri, DJ Diesel, who you may know better as NBA Hall of Famer Shaq, Glorilla, NLE Choppa, Cash Doll, Prof, Durand Bernard, Armani White, DJ Mando, Nilex Nile, and more to be announced. It's Saturday, June 14th, and the theme is Back to the Future. They're calling it Back to Wisconsin Fest 4. In addition to a VIP early entry and meet and greet, there's also a Cafe 80s Ultimate VIP where you get access to their Cafe 80s, a retro gaming experience, and you get to meet T-Pain. Well, this year, for the first time ever, T-Pain added a second night to Wisconsin Fest. It was going to be Friday the 13th, June 13th at the Milwaukee Mile. Because it's at the Wisconsin State Fair, he was going to call it Wisconsin State Fear. And it was going to be at the Milwaukee Mile track. But this wasn't going to be a car race event. It was going to be a car drifting event. Basically, dudes and chicks, I would presume, would take out their sports cars, muscle cars, whatever, and drift them. I think everybody who's driven in snow in Wisconsin knows what a drift is. Anybody who's seen Fast and the Furious knows what a drift is. And this was going to be organized by T-Pain's company, Nappy Boy Automotive. Now, in addition to just watching cars drift and squeal their tires, which seemed to be kind of boring on its own, T-Pain promised that there would be carnival rides, games, karaoke, and more. Earlier this year, he apparently emailed the Milwaukee Mile, and T-Pain says his team was very clear about what they wanted right away. However, last night, in a couple of videos posted to T-Pain's TikTok account, he outlines how the event essentially got canceled and moved to Road America. He is accusing the Milwaukee Mile of being racist against him and his fans for the reasons that they decided that the event couldn't go on. T-Pain said from the get-go, from the very first phone call that they had with the Milwaukee Mile, they were very clear about what they needed.
Now, we told them that we wanted karaoke, carnival rides, street fair games, VIP paddock initiatives, and the whole layout of the drift track. We laid out all that we wanted right there, just so we can say, hey, we want the karaoke over here. This is going to be there. We want some carnival rides. We want some games. And the drift track is going to be like this. Boom. They were like, oh, man. That's great. And I made sure that that point was driven home because I needed stuff for the spectators to do. There's, instead of just watching drifting all day, I wanted to have some rides and games and like that. I wanted to make sure that all this entertainment was there for the spectators. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to make it a boring day of just tire screeching. You can actually go have some fun. It was non-negotiable. I needed my team to make sure that Milwaukee knew that we needed all that stuff or we just can't do it, right? Cool. They was like, let's make this a great event. Let's do this shit.
All right. And they all proceeded to make it a great event and do this bleep for another couple of months. But about a month or so after that initial phone call and the contracts were all signed, everything was good to go. Right after they made the public announcement about Wisconsin State Fear, T-Pain says his team got an email from the Milwaukee Mile.
We announced the event, right? Tickets went on sale. The public can see it. Hold up. We get an email from Ian from Milwaukee Mile that says the main issue is the name. We are very protective of our brand, and it's too close and not the family-friendly grounds we are. Keep in mind, they own the Wisconsin State Fair, and our event was called Wisconsin State Fear. And they said, that's not family friendly. You got to get rid of that. I'm having a hard time understanding that. I was called by our marketing department initially, and then the CEO, who has set a meeting with myself, security, and police regarding the event tomorrow morning to discuss the theming. And rides are a concern as well now. So now we can't have carnival rides anymore. Please change the name and any Jason or such reference immediately. I'll be in touch on what becomes of tomorrow's meeting. As from the start, we want to help create a great event, but the marketing needs to be arranged with us in conjunction. Sure, whatever.
As you can imagine, Wisconsin State Fair is worried about the infringement with Wisconsin State Fear. And because this event was taking place on Friday the 13th, and because Wisconsin Fest was 80s themed with Back to the Future, they wanted to do Friday the 13th, Jason, hockey mask, all of that theme. But T-Pain says at this point, they first started to raise some concerns about the rides. Now, after all of this went down, T-Pain says he got a phone call from this Ian.
We cannot do carnival rides because the carnival rides,
and this is what Ian told him,
are closely tied to gangs. You understand what I'm saying? He said we can't have carnival rides because if we have rides there, gangs are going to come. Who the
Super Crip.
Yeah, what Super Crip is going to come into, like, yeah, let me get on that Gravitron. Like, come on, bro. Like, gangs are going to come if we have.
Okay, admittedly, I laughed my butt off when he said, let's get on that Gravitron. He goes on.
Carnival rides? This is insane to me. I don't understand this. So I'm trying to figure this out. They said no to the karaoke because it turns more into a concert. And they said they did not realize that all of the artists who were performing at Saturday's festival at the Eagles Club would also be performing at the karaoke event. They think that if we do karaoke, Glorilla's just going to show up and just start performing.
So the concerns were, A, carnival rides are an issue because, well, as everyone remembers who has lived in Milwaukee and has lived in Milwaukee for a long time, the infamous 2011 Wildin' Out incident that started at the Midway. It was race-based attacks. Black teenagers rampaging through the park, just randomly attacking white people while shouting things like, "Kill Whitey." This has been an ongoing issue for the Wisconsin State Fair, so it's only natural that when the CEO got involved, when the Milwaukee Police Department got involved, when there were more stakeholders that got involved, they said, hey, wait a second. We thought this was going to be a little car racing, car exhibition thing. Now there's going to be a whole Midway. There's going to be a karaoke contest, and apparently word got out that some of the acts who were coming for Saturday night were actually going to fly in early and might perform. It might not be Glorilla, but a couple of those rappers whose names I probably butchered are local rappers. They would jump at the chance to perform in front of this crowd the previous night. Now, T-Pain, after concluding that first 8-minute video, put out a second one where he sort of recapped what happened and overtly accused the Milwaukee Mile and State Fair Park of being racist against him and his audience because he is black and the audience is presumably going to be mostly black.
Now, let's review. Everything was all set. Everything was ready to go. And now, all of a sudden, when we make the announcement for Wisconsin State Fair, they said the name is not family friendly. We can't do karaoke anymore because they don't want the artists that are coming to my festival to come to their fairgrounds because they don't do rappers and shit. We're not having that. But also, we can't have carnival rides because anytime they have carnival rides, gangs show up. It's a weird gang culture in Milwaukee. Now, keep in mind, while they're saying that carnival rides bring gangs to their fairgrounds, they're promoting a motherfucking carnival at the same time. Hold on, give me a second.
At this point, he puts up pictures of the state fair promoting its midway.
Actively promoting on Instagram. That's Wisconsin State Fair. I keep calling, that's the way I said. They're promoting rides. They're promoting rides and games. How come there's no gangs showing up to these things that you're promoting? Oh, is it because you're doing it and not Black T-Pain? Is that what it is? Is it the gangs don't come to the rides and shit you do, but if I bring rides there, then that's when the gangs come. That's what's happening. Cool.
Right after he makes that accusation of race-based discrimination, T-Pain unfortunately drops a pretty insulting slam on Milwaukee's Greek community. You see, the 13th and the 14th of June is Milwaukee's Greek Fest, which, after moving from the Orthodox Church to the state fairgrounds, has sort of been a staple, one of the earliest summer festivals in Milwaukee. And it takes place right around the midway where there are carnival games and rides and that sort of thing. Well, T-Pain was apparently ticked off that his Jason-themed event couldn't go on, but the supposedly super violent Greek People's Festival could.
Now, the chief of police said they shut it down because he can't staff the event. They have another event going on at the same time in a different part of the same property called the Greek Fest. The Greek Fest. You mean the ancient Greece that's famous for orgies and slicing bitches' heads off? That's that one. That's the family friendly thing that all your police is gonna be at. That's the family friendly thing that all your police, your chief of police, your staff is gonna be at. Cool. Let's have that on the same property. We're having that at the same property, so we can't staff your event because there may be too many gangs and we don't have enough police in the city for your carnival rides.
Okay. I'm not Greek, nor am I offended for the Greek community. I am offended because T-Pain apparently doesn't know how to pronounce the word orgies. Does he think that there are going to be orgies and they're going to be cutting women's heads off at the event today? I get that he was sort of making a joke and that he was trying to point out some more hypocrisy about this event. He does make reference to that 2011 incident as being a reason for why he was told no carnival games.
Now, here's the thing. Regarding the concern about the carnival rides being linked to gangs or gang violence, they're saying that because one time they had a shooting at the fairgrounds in fucking 2011. They had a shootout in 2011, and they say if I bring the carnival rides and the games and shit, that's gonna happen again. They just know it. Now, here's the thing: it costs $50 to get in our shit. You think a gang is just gonna pay $50 a nigga to get in the damn just to come fuck shit up? No, nobody's doing that. And how come it's not happening at the events that you guys are throwing? How come it's only if I throw the same kind of event?
Well, there wasn't a shooting. As anyone remembers, I think it was 18 people were injured. There were something like 30 arrests. It was just random assaults. It was random beatings. 2 years earlier, of course, Milwaukee's then mayor, Tom Barrett, was severely beaten outside of the fair while trying to break up a fight. But the reference to the incident at the Midway is not so much just going back 14 years. It has been an ongoing concern at State Fair. And I can tell you that law enforcement officers say there are 20 times more problems at the Midway than there are in any other part of the State Fair. Now, eventually, the two sides said, look, we can't go forward with this arrangement. We can't allow carnival rides. We can't allow a karaoke contest or whatever else will allow the T-Pain's drift off. We can't allow it to be called Wisconsin State Fair because that's an infringement on our intellectual property. That's too close to Wisconsin State Fair. But then T-Pain says, as he closes out his video, they asked me to coordinate with them on messaging. How do we message the fact that this event is canceled?
Here's the funniest part of the whole thing, right? At the end of the conversation, after they denied us everything, after they said, nope, nothing's happening, you can't have it, these motherfuckers had the audacity to call us and say, hey, so if you decide to not use us anymore, we should get together on the messaging and make sure T-Pain doesn't make us look crazy. We don't want to, what the fuck? No. You don't get to control the narrative after you just told me I'm going to bring gangs and we can't have all these rappers and shit in there. Like, after you're promoting the same exact shit at the same place, but, the rest of your staff is at the origin party. We can't, we're not aligning on messaging. I'm not getting with your marketing team to make sure y'all don't look racist as fuck. No, that's just what it is.
He is now holding the drifting event at Road America. I reached out to the Wisconsin State Fair for a statement on T-Pain's videos, which again were put out last night. And the State Fair, which runs the Milwaukee Mile, of course, put out this statement to me. We take responsibility and apologize for the way this was handled. There were missteps in internal communications that are not representative of the standard at Wisconsin State Fair Park. We were overly ambitious about what we could host, and unfortunately, these missteps led to this event not coming to fruition. We are taking steps to ensure a more complete event review process is in place. What do you think? 414-799-1130. That is our adventknows.com talk and text line. We'll read your text. We'll take your phone calls, or at 1-800-838-9476. I'll tell you what I think about the Wisconsin State Fair debacle coming up next on The Dan O'Donnell Show.
The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back. Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires. It's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
Bob here for Redefine Realty, powered by EasyHomeBidder.com.
Brian here. I was in the market to buy my first home. I rushed to see houses the day they went live on MLS. Made offers on 5 houses before finally getting the 6th accepted. I would have increased my bid on all 5 of the other houses I didn't get, but never got the chance.
Brian's story is tragic for Brian, but also for sellers. Brian would have paid more for each of the 5 houses he didn't get. That's 5 sellers guided by traditional MLS agents who sold their home for less than they could have. Redefined Realty, powered by EasyHomeBidder.com's auction platform and MLS, would have earned all 5 Wisconsin area home sellers more money. A lot more money. Selling a fixer-upper, a duplex, a condo, a $400,000 home, or a multi-million-dollar home. When buyers bid, sellers win. In fact, when buyers bid, buyers win too. Heck, everybody wins at Redefined Realty and EasyHomeBidder.com. Buyers win, sellers win. Obvious, but revolutionary. When buyers win, sellers win. It's real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
Warshawski trial attorney Frank Crivello here.
Folks, I'm Victor Harding. Frank is selected Best Lawyers 2024 Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year.
More impressive is Victor Harding named Product Liability Attorney of the Year again for 2024.
It may sound boastful to mention these prestigious awards.
It's not boastful considering if you or someone you love is injured, you need to know 2 attorneys from the same personal injury firm being chosen by other lawyers and judges for these caliber of awards is very rare.
Heaven forbid you ever need an injury claim made on your behalf. If you do, the quality of your attorney and law firm will have a greater impact on the outcome than even the facts of your case.
Former clients, other lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, and even insurance adjusters,
often our adversaries,
refer their family and friends to Warshawski because they know Warshawski will achieve maximum compensation.
Injured? It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
That's Warshawski.com.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference. Committed to covering the important stories and issues that the rest of the media won't touch. This is Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN. News that's factual, fair, and balanced from people you can trust. On News Talk 1130 WISN.
About a bar if you're worth it.
Girl, what's your name?
Yeah.
Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink. I'm T-Pain.
T-Pain.
You know me.
What up?
I'm big music, never boy.
Number one.
Three. What's the chance until you rolling with
T-Pain, hip-hop superstar, is accusing the Milwaukee Mile of racism for essentially canceling his event there.
I'ma take it home with me. I got money in the bank. I'm in the creek. We in the band like
This, of course, his biggest hit, Buy You a Drink, which he is likely to perform at his Wisconsin Fest on June 14th. On June 13th, he was scheduled to host a car drifting event, which apparently is just a bunch of cars driving around and doing drifts on the Milwaukee Mile. Well, he correctly surmised that watching that would get real boring real quick, so he wanted to have carnival rides and games for people to also take part in while the drifting and squealing of tires was going on. And the state fair said, no, we can't allow that. A, calling your event Wisconsin State Fair is too close to Wisconsin State Fair, and we sort of have the trademark on that. So you're infringing on our trademark. We can't allow that. He wanted to make it Jason themed, Friday the 13th. They said, no, we have an image to protect here. Can't do that. But what we're really concerned about are the carnival rides and games, because we have had nonstop issues with those, and they attract people who are there to, in the words of Mr. Payne on his TikTok account last night, bleep up. I'll let you fill in the bleeps there. This is not an esoteric concern. This is not a hypothetical concern. The Wisconsin State Fair has been dealing with this for a long time. Summerfest dealt with it forever at its midway. Do you know how Summerfest solved the problem? It got rid of the midway. It replaced it with another music stage, which, by the way, is probably my favorite stage in the entire place. Great move by State Fair, or the Summerfest grounds. State Fair, though, makes a ton of revenue off of its Spin City. I think that's what it calls its midway. But there are still all sorts of problems there. That's why you will see a ton of cops there providing security, because there are always problems. Now, T-Pain says, well, this is racism because clearly you're worried about a bunch of young black people coming out. They don't want a karaoke contest because they're worried about a whole bunch of rappers and black musicians coming out. Glorilla is going to be at the Rave Eagles Club the following night for Wisconsin Fest. Shaq is going to be doing a DJ set. Some of the bigger rappers, Fade, NLE Choppa, Pusha T, Wale, Jermaine Dupri, there's a blast from the past. Old school rapper there. He's saying, look, what your real concern is that there's a bunch of black people getting together at the state fair. Now, he casts aspersions on Wisconsin's police chief, or Milwaukee's police chief, who, of course, is a black man. I'm not sure if he knows that. But I'm actually wondering what you think about this. This is actually probably the best comment I've gotten on our adventknows.com talk and text line. Team T-Pain almost all the way. Remove the racism argument and how inarticulate T-Pain is, and I think he makes some good points. Is safety a genuine concern? Then why was that not better communicated, and why was it not a choice for T-Pain to fund his own security? I don't know why people with power, money, and influence in the city of Milwaukee always go against its best interest. That park sits empty more than it does full. Having another festival for the city and county would be great. Yes, it must be safe. Yes, both parties must benefit. Here's another one, not quite as good an argument. Mr. Auto-Tune is an irrelevant crybaby. Matt from Lomira said, I think it's funny that he thinks 0 gang members will go to his concert. I was also always under the impression that T-Pain had way more white fans than black fans, but hey, that's me. Here's one. John in Tosa says, it's always sad how carnivals get ruined now due to violence. The cost for fair enforcement, remind why no River Splash Old Greek Festival. Okay, there you go. That is a fantastic argument, one that I forgot. River Splash, and here's where I think T-Pain was getting mixed up. Remember he said there was a shooting at State Fair? I believe he was told about the shooting at River Splash that actually ended River Splash. Do you remember that? The downtown festival right along the river. It's a wonderful, wonderful festival, either Memorial Day weekend or right after Memorial Day weekend. It was sort of like the kickoff to summer in Milwaukee. It ended because of violence. So the possibility of violence is very real, but you can't strip away the argument. If it was Brad Paisley putting on a tractor pull, would the Milwaukee Police Department be at all concerned about violence? At the same time, however, we have to be realistic. In the city of Milwaukee, homicides are committed to the tune of pretty consistently 85 to 90% by black males. That's just a fact. It's one that a lot of people don't want to confront, but it is real. When you have big events like this, are there ever shootings? Are there ever brawls? Are there ever incidents of extreme violence at ska concerts? Are the mighty, mighty Boss Tones coming to town and there's going to be stabbings? No. The reality is these things tend to happen at hip hop concerts. But you can't separate that, right, from the racial component of this. So is T-Pain right here? I don't think State Fair was being racist at all, frankly. I believe the biggest concern was, hey, we still have to patrol the city of Milwaukee. And T-Pain said, I will provide security. No. You need trained police officers. We don't have just random dudes. Yes, I'm sure T-Pain has great security, but I don't want a whole bunch of just random security guards in an already potentially tense environment. That's why they have off-duty police officers, because these people are trained. They know how to do crowd control, that sort of thing. You still have to patrol the city of Milwaukee. And if you have a whole ton of cops busy at Greek Fest at another part of the festival, I'm guessing that was probably the biggest thing. That and, okay, you want to turn this into a giant midway? Well, we've already got a giant midway over here. I can see both sides. I tend to think State Fair has the absolute right to say, look, we don't believe that we can adequately secure this event. I'm sorry, it's just bad timing. We've got Greek Fest. Mr. Payne was unfortunately pretty insulting to the Greeks. And I think he does think that they are still having, as he called it, orgies at their festival. But ultimately, State Fair, I don't think, was in the wrong. Was there undoubtedly, though, a racial component to this decision? Yeah, I think there was. We'll take a couple more text messages, phone calls as well. You are listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Classical conservatism. Contemporary style. The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
Spring means that green is busting out everywhere, including your wallet. If you play the nationwide Spring Green Cash Contest on Newstalk 1130 WISN 9 times each weekday, listen for the keyword, enter it at newstalk1130.com, and you might snag the hourly prize of $1,000.
The Spring Green Cash Contest is presented by ARR Recycling. Recycling pays. Bring your copper, brass, lead, steel, or aluminum to their West Dallas or Waukesha locations and get cash. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. Mom and Dad own Cut and Go Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. American patriots will enjoy a 5% discount for flying the American flag and mentioning this commercial when the Cut and Go remote control, automobile mounted, articulated crane, grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. An all-American Tons of Trees movement, cutandgotrees.com. That's CUTNGOTREES.com.
People should be judged for the content of their character, not the straightness of their teeth.
I'm Mila. The gracious, caring staff at Ross Dental makes straight teeth convenient.
Bo, Mila's big brother here. High school social pressure can make students want to be invisible. Ross Dental straight teeth are confidence building.
With Ross Dental straight teeth, you and your children will smile like you just don't care because you don't.
Dr. Ross did imaging and ordered virtually invisible plastic trays that fit over our teeth, shifting them ever so slightly.
Every 5 days or so, we start new trays that shift teeth a little more.
Unlike conventional braces, we can take the trays off to eat and brush our teeth, and they cost less.
A bonus for me is clicking in my jaw stopped.
Dr. Ross is a great dentist, and Dad says Ross Dental is the best deal.
Family dentistry, cosmetic whitening, Ross Dental straight smiles, and full sedation dentistry. For anxious patients needing substantial restoration. Our mission, your comfort, health, and confidence. Smile like you just don't care, because you don't. RossDentalWI.com.
Academic Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at ACCUNET.com.
It's getting to be that time. Time to get down and dirty. In your garden, that is. There's no time like now to beat the spring rush. At Miners Garden Center, the trucks are already rolling in, and they're filled with everything and anything you'll need for your yard and garden. And don't forget to check out our website, sign up for updates, and get information on your yard and garden. It's gardening from the ground up. A family tradition since 1949. Miners on 76, just north of Good Hope.
For superior carpet cleaning, hire a company with over 75 years of experience that will get the job done right the first time. Always clean, always on time. Edelman.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
Josh from Infinity here. The exterior remodeling industry is notorious for wild price disparities and hidden costs. Infinity has revolutionized the exterior remodeling experience. Our custom-built app is your window into our world of clear, accurate pricing.
MJ here. No more guesswork. No more unpleasant surprises. Every detail, all materials are clear for you to see. Absolute pricing transparency makes Infinity the most trusted roofing and exterior remodeling company in the Midwest.
We built Infinity on a foundation of integrity. More than installing roofs, siding, and windows, Infinity installs peace of mind, building lifelong relationships with our customers.
Infinity's proprietary app is an extension of our commitment, providing exact line item pricing, something unheard of in roofing and exterior remodeling.
Infinity's unmatched buying power saves you money. We pay less, you pay less. Infinity provides multiple budget options real time. Everything is at your fingertips, including financing options before we leave your home.
Warranted, guaranteed quality. Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
I'm Art Flater of Central Office Systems. Any business can be brought to its knees by thieves and IT hackers.
Chris Rozecki here. The IT guy you've known since high school doesn't have the resources to protect your organization.
Central Office Systems is the small business IT company that understands cyber with resources to back up your network.
Does your team work outside the hours of 8 to 5? Does your IT company do the same without nickel and diming you? Central Office Systems. No nickeling, no diming.
You hear those injured ads? Cameras with good resolution working properly cut down on injuries. Cameras deter thieves. Cameras deter scammers. Cameras that work.
With Central Office Systems Managed Network Support, a qualified technician grateful for the opportunity to solve your issue answers the phone within 1 minute.
Camera systems, network security, network support.
Have insurance? Will that satisfy your customers while your company's crucial business functions are zero for a week or two? Real Insurance is utilizing an IT service provider who secures your computers from ever going down.
CentralOfficeSystems.com.
Wilmer Valderrama and Freddie Rodriguez welcome another amigo to their podcast, Dos Amigos. Wilmer's friend and former That 70s Show castmate Topher Grace stops by the Speakeasy for a 2-part interview to discuss his career and reminisce about old times.
We were still in that place of like, what will this experience become? And you go, you're having the best time.
Yeah.
But it was like such a perfect golden time.
Listen to Dos Amigos on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Dos Amigos.
We hit it on something proper like the bartender. Ooh, if you're looking for me, the bartender. Okay.
All right, in the interest of full disclosure, your humble host, Dan O'Donnell, is a T-Pain fan. If you've ever heard him without the auto-tune, he was on like NPR's Tiny Desk concerts years back. The man has an absolutely incredible voice. I think his best song was I'm on a Boat with Andy Samberg of The Lonely Island. I actually saw him when Lonely Island and he were both headlining Summerfest. And I'll be totally honest with you, I can see his point. For those just joining us, T-Pain put out a couple of TikTok videos in which he's accusing the Milwaukee Mile of being racist in canceling his car drifting event scheduled to take place the night before his annual Wisconsin Fest concert featuring himself, Glorilla, Pusha T, NLE Choppa, a number of other big rappers. Shaquille O'Neal is going to do a DJ set at this. Milwaukee Mile said, okay, you can do your car drifting event, but we can't allow you to call it Wisconsin State Fair because that's infringing on our trademark of Wisconsin State Fair. And we can't allow you to have carnival rides and games because we've had all sorts of problems with those. Also, State Fair police are saying, look, we also have Greek Fest there the same night. However, the response that I would give to the Milwaukee Mile, which is saying, hey, State Fair put out a statement after I asked for it. Tess Kirkson, very, very good spokesperson for the fair, is actually out sick today, but still got back to me very quickly and said, look, we take full responsibility for this. It was a miscommunication internally. We're sad for how this went down, and we'll try to do better next time. T-Pain is saying, look, you guys are doing this because I'm a black man, because I have a predominantly black audience that's expected to come in. And to that, I would say, look, if it was, who would be similar? Who would be a white artist that would be similar to T-Pain? Like late 2000s, early 2010s, was really big, hasn't had much of a big hit, but still has a lot of cultural cachet. I mean, I'm just trying to think. If it was Natasha Bedingfield, remember her? She had a couple of hits. These Words was my favorite. Listen to the techno remix of it. It's fantastic. Her biggest one was Unwritten. It was the theme to one of the MTV reality shows. If Natasha Bedingfield had Bedfest 2025 and wanted to put up carnival games, and you would have all the 40-something mommies who listened to Natasha Bedingfield in the 2010s. Jason Mraz, how about that? That's a good one. Jason Mraz, who, by the way, I saw last year at Summerfest. He was tremendous. I forgot how many big hits he had. If he was putting on Mraz Fest, Mrazamataz, he calls it, and he wanted carnival games, I'm taking a wild guess Jason Mraz would probably be approved, because it would be a bunch of white kids from the suburbs. Well, white kids. Yeah, okay. It would be white middle-aged men like me. But at the same time, you can't ignore the reality of where crimes are being committed and who they're being committed by. And if you get an event like T-Pain's Wisconsin Fest, there may be a far bigger percentage of people who would be attending who would be prone to violence and disrupting said event than at the Jason Mraz Mrazamataz Festival. That's just a reality. We'll unfortunately have to leave it there, because we name the Unhinged Liberal of the Day coming up in just a second right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Classical conservatism.
Contemporary style.
The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Eastbound on 94 going to be slow from 76th over to 35th Street. From Moreland to the Marquette, taking about 11 minutes. Westbound at 15, going to be slow from 27 to Hawley. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
This week on Red Pilled America, we travel back to the dawn of the 16th century to uncover the roots of what it really means to be an American. You think you know the story? Think again. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Red Pilled America.
Dan O'Donnell here with my friend Daniel from Bayview Shade and Blind. Daniel, I love the work you guys did at our new home, and more importantly, my wife loves it too.
Appreciate that, Dan. We work with folks who really value having a trusted guide to walk them through the whole process, from choosing the right window treatments to professional installation. That's how we do it at Bayview Shade.
And you know what, Daniel? It really shows. Go to BayviewShade.com. They're sharing a little sunshine from their family to yours for 99 years.
Celebrate Nye's 80th anniversary and save big on the tools you need. Now through May 3rd during Nye's Tool Day sale, get a free 6-amp battery with the Milwaukee 18-volt fuel string trimmer and blower kit for $449.99. Also buy a Milwaukee 2-pack 5-amp batteries for $199.99 and get a bonus select tool up to a $149.99 value. Shop these great deals and more at Nye's. Vendors on site Friday, May 2nd. Nye's, great hardware, big on tools. Highways 41, 45, and Q in Menominee Falls. Visit neushardware.com for details.
Biz Expo is May 13th at Brookfield Conference Center. Learn from the experts at the strategy seminars and keynote presentation on resilient leadership. Connect with business leaders and customers at BizExpo May 13th. Register at biztimes.com/BizExpo.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. It's fee-only fiduciaries. We craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. If you drive drunk, you will be pulled over and you will be arrested. You cannot talk your way out of a DUI, but you can keep your mouth shut for your best defense. Call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
Need a refresh? Blue Line has you covered. We specialize in window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and pressure washing for homes and businesses. From sparkling windows to spotless gutters, we deliver quality you can trust and results you can see. Get a free estimate today at BlueLineWW.com and let Blue Line make your property shine. Blue Line, quality you can trust, results you can see.
Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you in Waukesha, Milwaukee, Muskego, Brookfield, Heartland, Cedarburg, and their Waukesha Fleet and Specialty location. If you have a business with a multi-vehicle fleet, Mander is the place to go because their team understands you can't have a vehicle out of service for a while, so they work quickly and efficiently to get you back on the road and serving your customers as fast as possible through expedited fleet repairs. Mander has been serving their customers and their community for well over 20 years, and they know that the key is expert workmanship and fast turnaround times combined with the sort of customer service that you'll only find at a family-owned local business like Mander. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com and find out for yourself why Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
This is Fox on Justice. Police in Aurora, Colorado say they have taken down a technically advanced burglary ring made up of Colombian nationals. The 5 suspects are now in ICE custody facing charges of second-degree burglary and or conspiracy to commit second-degree burglary. According to police, they hit 21 Aurora homes. Referring to the group as a, quote, sophisticated crew, investigators say the suspects used counter-surveillance when targeting their victims and then used signal jamming technology to get past home security alarm systems. Law enforcement says it uncovered hundreds of pieces of stolen property, including jewelry and stacks of cash. They found expensive clothing, luxury items, as well as weapons. They also found tracking devices and Wi-Fi signal jammers. We do not know at this time if there is any connection between the burglary ring busted here in Colorado and other international theft rings. Law enforcement here is also looking into whether these Colorado suspects are connected to other burglaries in the state. Alicia Acuna, Fox News.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany. Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is over.
Time now to name the unhinged liberal of the day here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. It is Edith Olmstead of the New Republic and the entire New Republic staff, for that matter, waging a jihad against Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman with the article, "Can Fetterman Continue in the Senate?" The Pennsylvania Democrat is reportedly acting erratically and saying a number of disturbing things about Gaza and Palestinians. That's right. Fetterman, who famously had a stroke while campaigning for the Senate, was totally fine when he needed to get elected. But now that he's an independent voice in support of Israel, Democrats like Edith Olmstead say he's too mentally ill and far gone to serve. She is your unhinged liberal of the day. Dan O'Donnell Show coming right back.
Listen to Benjamin Yount, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee. And make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon, I'm Dave Michaels. Governor Tony Evers today issued a statement in response to comments from Trump administration border czar Tom Holman.
Holman was asked Thursday about guidance issued to state employees on how to deal with ICE agents at state government offices. Governor Ivers.
The goal of this guidance was simple: to provide clear, consistent instructions to state employees and ensure they have a lawyer to help them comply with all federal and state laws. Nothing more, nothing less.
Holman said, wait and see what's coming, which has been interpreted as a threat to arrest Ivers. At the Capitol, Bob Hague, Wisconsin Radio Network.
The 4 o'clock business report brought to you by the Good Feet store. The Dow up today, 564 points. The NASDAQ gained 266 while the S&P rose 82. Checking the Holiday Automotive a Final Act Sports Scoreboard. The Brewers open up a series tonight against the Cubs. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels. On Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
A few rain showers possible this evening and overnight with lows around 40, then decreasing clouds Saturday and a high around 50 lakeside, mid-50s inland. Dry to start Sunday, then evening showers return, warmer next week. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barakello.
This report is sponsored by Argo Glass and Windows.
No need to replace windows when you can repair them. Argo Glass and Windows, always offering free estimates using high-quality materials with long-term warranties. So there's no need to replace windows when you can repair them. Visit ArgoWindowRepair.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network, so of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with, and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kelm. Join Dan Small and me for Outdoors Radio Saturday mornings at 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Brought to you by Hupy and Abraham, Wisconsin's largest personal injury law firm. 800-800-5678 or HUPY.com.
Imagine your home totally organized. At Closets by Design, we specialize in providing affordable, custom-built storage solutions with built-ins and beyond. From garages to new home offices. Our experienced designers work within your budget to design a solution fit perfectly to your needs. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% with 18-month financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get started. Let's get organized together.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
When I decided to remodel my kitchen, it was important to see more than just designs and drawings. Wisconsin Kitchen Mart made it easy, with more fully built kitchen displays than anywhere else. The showroom made all the difference when making important design decisions. Along with their talented team of designers, decorators, and installers, my dream kitchen came to life.
For almost 75 years, our team at Wisconsin Kitchen Mart has created kitchen and bathroom remodels that set us apart from the rest. We understand that your kitchen must be a well-oiled machine, so you enjoy using it. And don't forget, bathrooms too. That's why we offer quality design that incorporates the existing space in your home to enhance the style. Come see our full displays in our 18,000 square foot showroom, and with our wide selection of flooring, Play-Doh custom cabinetry, appliances, and countertops, you can get everything you need in one place. Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. Visit wisconsinkitchenmart.com for more information and a free consultation.
Who
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousins Subs $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offers subject to change without notice.
Your home cleaning friend. It's Edelman again. Edelman.
Whenever news happens,
get coverage that's factual,
fair, and balanced. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Show summaries, podcasts, political tidbits,
and the hottest photo galleries in radio. All available to you whenever you demand them at newstalk1130.com.
Forget about Biggie and Tupac. Forget about Drake and Kendrick, Jay-Z and Nas. I don't know, Vanilla Ice versus Suge Knight when Suge apparently held him over that balcony. The greatest feud in hip-hop right now is T-Pain versus the Milwaukee Mile. It's a story that I think, what do you think? Producer Jeff, he is going to be splitting producer duties with Eric Paulson, Jeff Orlowski, on loan from 97.3 The Game. Do you think this story is going to go national? I think it absolutely will. You've got one of the biggest stars in hip hop. Okay, he's not as big as he was in, say, like 2009, but I think T-Pain is still pretty big. Right? I mean, he's sort of in that legendary hip hop status, R&B. One of my buddies says he won The Masked Singer. I don't watch a whole ton of TV. I had no idea. It wouldn't shock me. The man is actually quite talented. He's a very good singer. He uses a lot of auto-tune because that was very big when he was at his peak. He doesn't need it. He's an incredibly talented singer. His accusations of racism, though, I think fall a little bit flat, although they do have some merit. This is why it's such an interesting debate. It's an exclusive story you heard first on the Dan O'Donnell Show, just like you first heard about Governor Ivers' memo instructing state employees to do their level best to obstruct ICE agents who come to Wisconsin state agencies asking for apparently the numerous illegal immigrants who are illegally employed by the state of Wisconsin. This story has now gone mega viral because Tom Homan, President Trump's border czar, while talking kind of generically about the possibility of arresting and criminally charging leaders of sanctuary cities or sanctuary states with obstruction, was specifically asked about Ivers and said simply, watch what happens.
Jordan Conrad's from Gateway Pundit. So the president signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities for the policy. Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
Yeah. And, well, real quick, your comments on the Wisconsin governor sending directives to state agencies to not comply with ICE and actually stop your deportation efforts.
Wait to see what's coming.
Any updates on the
I meant what I said. You cannot support what we're doing. And you can support sanctuary cities. That's what you want to do. But if you cross that line of impediment or knowingly harboring, concealing illegal alien, that is a felony. And we're treated as such.
Governor Ivers has now put out a video responding to this. We'll get to that in just a second. First, Spring Green Cash Contest word this hour is check. C-H-E-C-K, check. You have got until 55 past this hour to go to our website, enter the keyword check to enter the contest for this hour. Just after Easter weekend, I obtained a memo that Governor Ivers sent to all state employees either on Friday, Good Friday, coincidentally enough, the exact same day that Hannah Dugan, a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge, helped an illegal alien criminal defendant escape ICE agents by shuttling him through the jury room door and out of a back door of the courthouse. He was eventually arrested by those ICE agents following a brief chase. Another story I broke exclusively a few days later, but on Monday, I reported exclusively on this memo to all state employees in which Governor Ivers sure looked like through his Department of Administration, he was ordering every single state agency and every single state employee to not cooperate with ICE, and this is critical, even if ICE has a valid administrative or judicial arrest warrant. What they were instructed to do is consult with an attorney. That's all well and good. Here's the problem. The instructions further said if you can't reach the legal counsel for your department, you are to send the ICE agent away. I don't think I need to tell you that's not how warrants work. Now, my producer, Jeff, I am getting a number of questions. Are you the infamous pipe bomb from 97.3 The Game? Yes, he is. Now, Jeff, you look like the sort of man who's had a few warrants out against you in your... No, you haven't, seriously, have you? Okay, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to... I'm a little nervous now. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. Jeff is about the sweetest, kindest guy in the world. Just knowing you for as long as I have, I think I know what it's related to. I've just taken a wild guess. Yes. Okay. There was actually an arrest warrant out for you for marijuana. Okay. No, I was going to say, what's that? Oh, your door got kicked down and you were taken into custody for marijuana. Okay. Well, but no, you weren't like a fugitive or something like that. Okay. So you weren't wanted for deportation. You're not like El Jefe, a drug cartel kingpin that was going to be booted out of the country. No. Okay. If somebody was coming for you, they said, we have got a warrant in the name of Mr. Bomb, Mr. Pipe Bomb. And I said, okay, I go out to the front of our radio station. I said, couldn't get in touch with iHeartMedia Corporate Counsel. You guys are going to have to come back later. I'm afraid I can't let you in. Now, what would I obviously do? Because Jeff and I are buddies. By the way, I cannot bring myself to call you Pipe Bomb. It's going to be Jeff. All right. It's Jeff. I would probably tell my buddy Jeff, hey, Jeff, ICE was just here looking for you, or the Milwaukee Police Department. They can't very well kick down our security doors. Well, what did I just do? I interfered with their ability to arrest Jeff. I impeded the service of their warrant. That's against the law. Governor Evers' guidance, which is crystal clear in this memo, is for his state employees to do just that. Now, he put out a video earlier today, a couple of hours ago, and of course, framed this as a fake controversy that right-wing agitators like yours truly have got totally wrong.
I'm speaking to you today as your governor, but also as a concerned American. Yesterday, a Trump administration official, in not so many words, apparently threatened to arrest me for distributing guidance that asks state agency employees to consult with an attorney if federal agents show up at state buildings with legal documents. The goal of this guidance was simple: to provide clear, consistent instructions to state employees and ensure they have a lawyer to help them comply with all federal and state laws. Nothing more, nothing less. But Republicans and their right-wing allies, including Elon Musk, lied about this guidance, spread misinformation, accused me of doing things I didn't do or say, and fueled a fake controversy of their own creation.
All right. I'm going to read directly from his guidance. Do not do any of the following. Do not answer questions, including when an agent asks about someone you know or presents a warrant with an individual name. Do not give the agent access to any paper files or computer systems without speaking to your attorney, including when the agent presents a warrant. Do not give your consent for the agent to enter a non-public area. The agent must have a judicial warrant to do this, and your attorney will advise you on what areas are covered by the warrant. Examples of public areas include reception, waiting areas, and lobbies, restrooms available to the public, and other common areas accessible by members of the public without screening or escort. Don't give the agent any names. Don't give them access to paper files. Don't give consent for the agent to enter into a non-public area, even if they have a warrant. You have to check with an attorney first. Do I or does Pipe Bomb have that same luxury? Pipe Bomb, when they were, when you're out committing crimes, I'm going to call you Pipe Bomb. It's like your alter ego. He was a criminal, pot-smoking mastermind. When was this, by the way? How many years ago? Okay, early 2000s, like a quarter century ago. If you don't mind my asking, how old are you now? 48. Okay, so you're 23, 22, 23, doing dumb stuff. We all did. I don't judge. Would you have had that luxury when they were kicking down your door to say, hey, wait, guys, I do not consent to you to enter a non-public area of my house before I speak with an attorney? Of course not. Why are ICE agents somehow treated differently? This is clear guidance coming from the Department of Administration for you to, as a state employee, simply ignore both state and federal law. But of course, Ivers, in his video this afternoon, got up on his high horse. I actually cut off for time the portion where he put, I'll give him credit. He probably recorded this in the morning, but it was released in the afternoon, and he says, good morning. Way to go, Governor. He gets up on his moral high horse and says, well, this should not happen. Well, he said it more like this. This should not happen in America. Just listen to him.
We live in the United States of America, folks. We are a country of laws. The rule of law matters. Following the law matters. In this country, the federal government doesn't get to abuse its power to threaten everyday Americans.
Really?
In this country, the federal government doesn't get to arrest American citizens who have not committed a crime. In this country, we don't threaten to persecute people just because they belong to a different political party. These threats represent a concerning trajectory in this country.
Very concerning.
We now have a federal government that will threaten or arrest an elected official or even everyday American citizens who have broken no laws, committed no crimes, and done nothing wrong.
Governor Ivers, or your staff, whom I know listen to this program, state prosecutors in both Georgia and New York, as well as Joe Biden's Justice Department, say, so you're right. We shouldn't be prosecuting people just because they belong to a certain party or might defeat you in the upcoming 2024 presidential election. It sort of looks bad, doesn't it? It does seem like a very disturbing trajectory for this country. I agree. Here's the problem. If you are ordering your subordinates to directly impede a federal investigation, regardless of what you think about the legitimacy of said investigation, you are doing the exact same thing as Judge Hannah Dugan. if you actively conspire with a criminal defendant and someone who had a valid deportation order as the criminal defendant illegal in Dugan's court did, you are guilty of the exact same federal crimes that she is. There are additional state crimes that you can be charged with as well. It is felonious conduct. You don't get a pass just because you don't like Donald Trump and you don't like Tom Homan and you don't like ICE. Nonetheless, Ivers is putting on a brave face. I didn't check what color his underwear was when he said this, but he said he is not afraid of arrest.
As disgusted as I am about the continued actions of the Trump administration, I'm not afraid.
No.
I've never once been discouraged from doing the right thing, and I will not start today. I swore an oath when I took this office to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin, and to faithfully discharge the duties of this office to the best of my ability. I will never waver from that promise. I hope and pray every elected and appointed official in this country, including the President of the United States of America, will do the same.
Does that also apply to Hannah Dugan, I wonder? Or was she righteously defying unjust orders? Look, I'm not totally comfortable with arresting state officials either. However, if a state official commits a crime, as we were told for how many years during the Trump administration, the first one, and during the Biden years, no one is above the law. Not a judge, not a governor, not a border czar, not a president. Against my better judgment, I'm going to take a phone call. Bill in Oconomowoc, incidentally, the one liberal. We have a vast listening audience, ladies and gentlemen. We have the biggest listening audience in the state of Wisconsin. And yet there is just one liberal who dares to ever call. He is Bill in Oconomowoc. Bill, what is going on? Happy Friday to you.
Hey, a little question, buddy. Let's have some little fun. You're an attorney. I'm not.
Okay.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, I come and arrest you. I do. Now, I come to your house, I knock on the door, I say, are you Dan O'Donnell? And you say yes, and I say, come with me. Mm-hmm. Am I breaking any law, or is something wrong there? Do you sense anything isn't happening correct?
Well, I'm going to just take a wild guess, and kind of knowing you a little bit, Bill, that you are not properly deputized as a law enforcement agent. I'm teasing a little bit. Let's say you're a cop. That depends. Right. Do you show me a badge?
Yes.
Okay. Do you show me a valid reason that I am being taken away?
Oh, I will show you, something official on a piece of paper. And then what do you do?
Well, no, that's actually not what I asked. Do you have a valid warrant? Do you have something that says Bill from Oconomowoc of the Oconomowoc Law Enforcement Office is hereby authorized to detain or arrest Dan O'Donnell?
And do I have to read you your rights, Dan?
Well, that actually also depends. Miranda v. Arizona says, yes, typically you have to be apprised of what rights you have. However, Miranda does not necessarily apply in all instances if it is not a law enforcement violation. For example, if, say, I did not commit a crime, but let's say I was designated as an enemy combatant in the war on terror, right? I do not need to have my Miranda rights read to me because I'm not being arrested for a violation of law. I'm being arrested as an
That's clear as Dan. But Dan, remember.
Okay. And the same thing. Well, but here's the thing, Bill, I'm trying to explain. It's the same thing with deportation. Once there's a valid deportation order, and I know what you're making the case for, there needs to be due process. You need to make sure everything's done by the book. The issue is when there is a valid deportation order, due process has already been fulfilled. There's not the same standard for someone who's not an American citizen. When that deportation order is given, there is already, generally speaking, a finding of fact that, say, Dan O'Donnell is a known associate with Tren de Aragua or something like that. There was already this finding, and I was already, and in fact, most of the people who are being deported right now already have multiple deportations. Like the guy in Dugan's Court, for example, had already been deported in 2013. He made his way back in. Due process applies when that first finding that this person is in violation of our immigration laws and must be removed. You don't get to say, well, I demand an attorney. It doesn't work like that. Okay. And it's also something straight out of the movies where you need to be Mirandized as soon as you're taken into custody. You're really telling me that, let's say in the example that Bill gave, that he's coming to arrest me and I am fighting him tooth and nail. Bill seems like a nice guy, but maybe not the strongest dude. I think even as he's trying to cuff me, I'm bucking, I'm fighting. I think I can fight him off. Do you really think he's got to be, as he's trying to subdue me, I'm throwing him off like a raging bull. You have the right to remain silent. That's a fiction. You do have to be apprised of your rights, but it's not like as soon as this happens, as soon as they show up, I could do an entire segment on things people get wrong about the law because of television and movies, starting with how much of the practice of law do you think is oral argument? Do you think it's getting up in front of a court? Maybe 1%. And you have to be in litigation to do it. 99% of it is writing briefs. It's writing arguments. It is writing. That's actually a very good call by Bill. He's something of a wild card. He's usually very good. Sometimes he's way off in left field. More on the Ivers v. Trump administration scenario next.
From the Lynch Truck Center in Waterford, Total Traffic Center.
Slammed on 43 southbound from Hampton down to North Avenue. Got a crash there, blocking both shoulders. Northbound delays starting just north of the Marquette on up to Keefe with ongoing right lane construction. I'm Kevin Henry, and that's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Vital Strategies. Opioid overdoses can happen to anyone, anytime. But with naloxone, you have the power to save a life. It's easy to use, safe, free, and available near you. No questions asked. Be ready. Carry naloxone. Learn more at youcansavelives.org.
I'm Dan Voss from Cut and Go. Ugly and depressing and trees killed off by emerald ash, oak wilt, and Dutch elm disease are dangerous for friends and loved ones, even a potential liability. Slowly rotting, left-standing hardwood trees can weigh tens of thousands of pounds. Even seemingly smaller branches can weigh tens, even hundreds of pounds. With Cut and Go, there is no reason to risk injury or property damage. Live trees in precarious placement for an arborist to remove over homes, garages, commercial buildings, luxury landscapes are easily and safely laid on the ground by Cut and Go's NCCER crane-operated certified remote control automobile mounted articulating crane grapple saw operators. You can save big money and stock up on firewood by having Cut and Go put your trees on the ground for you to clean up or have a bonfire or split firewood, or we can take it all with us when we leave. A Tons of Trees movement. Cut and Go trees.com. That's CUTNGO trees.com. Once again, that's cutandgotrees.com.
There's a reason people sell to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no added stress.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
I don't have time for a home project this year. I don't want to deal with the home improvement dragging on and on. It doesn't have to. Hi, Colleen with Tri-County Contracting. If a new roof is needed this year, we can make the entire project move quickly and be worry-free. No responsibility will be on your shoulders. We'll take care of everything. Worry-free roofing is an instant roof quote button right on our website, tricountycontractingwi.com. Name, address, and email, and you will have your price. Worry-free roofing is a fast and easy estimate process. Worry-free roofing is out with that old, tired, leaking roof and in with a new, beautiful dimensional shingle roof. Worry-free roofing is a quick and annoyance-free roof install. No material or dumpster sitting for days or weeks. Most homes are completed in just one day. Worry-free roofing is a lifetime product warranty and a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's also getting free enrollment in the Every Year Inspection Program, where you get a free roof inspection and maintenance every year for 10 years. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
Do you have children under the age of 18? Have more than $50,000 in assets? Without a proper estate plan, the government will create one for you. Learn more on Your Hometown Lawyer from Milik Law, Saturday at 3 on WISN. Visit MilikLawWI.com. And remember, fail to plan to fail.
Saving money on your next outdoor project at Menards. Easily transport mulch, stone, and other materials with the Masterforce heavy-duty steel wheelbarrow. Maneuver over any terrain with a 16-inch tire that never goes flat. Saving money on this and all other Masterforce tools exclusively at Menards. Visit us in store and at Menards.com and see all the great deals going on now in our weekly flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
Have you seen our billboards as you're driving around town? Do you wonder what we mean by advisors for real life? At Ellenbecker Investment Group, we make a commitment to our clients, employees, and community to meet you where you are with unmatched personal attention and guide you along your financial journey with honesty, expertise, and an unwavering commitment to your well-being. We're proud to make this commitment to you publicly because we, Ellenbecker Investment Group, really are advisors for real life.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to news/rules. All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the Annex Wealth Management Studios. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference. 40 years ago, being informed was about reading the newspaper and watching the nightly news. Now, with information coming at you at the speed of light, being truly informed is a complex proposition, a more comprehensive process. At WISN, our show hosts frame stories, issues, and topics with both facts and unique analysis. And that leaves you with a richer understanding of the world around you. It's the perfect blend of information and insight. Stay informed all day, every day on WISN. A place where freedom of speech and freedom of thought live on. Stay informed all day, every day on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is a tour de force of truth here on the Dan O'Donnell Show with more exclusive stories, I think, broken in the last, 3-4 months than many shows break in their entire runs. We also have some fun, and we will prove it. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, strangest stories of the past 7 days, including quite possibly the grossest road rage incident you have ever seen. Producer Jeff, you saw this on social media. I wish I had it. I've seen a lot of disgusting things in my long tenure as a reporter and talk show host. Not gonna lie, this one jarred me. This one might have traumatized me. I did not see it coming. Let's just put the element of surprise was, I think, what got me. The couple of women in a road rage incident and what one does on the other's hood. You'll listen for it in how bizarre. It doesn't get much more bizarre than Governor Ivers standing and posing for holy pictures in the video that he posted earlier this afternoon. Also, how many takes did they get? And he's still stumbling over his words. They should have done the old Joe Biden jump cut, where they would have to do 6 jump cuts in an 11-second video just to get the guy through it. Ivers is saying that he is going to stand up for the rule of law and what's good and what's noble. Well, excuse me. If he is shielding illegal aliens from a valid arrest, and that's exactly what his DOA guidance, Department of Administration, not DOA as in dead on arrival, although as soon as someone with a brain saw what the DOA put out, they should have rendered it DOA and never disseminated it, never allowed it to see the light of day. I'm actually shocked that even a lefty lawyer would look at this and say it's a good idea to have your state employees. Look, for as I understand it, unless Ivers himself says hide this guy, this specific guy from ICE arrest, he's not going to be criminally charged or he's not going to be arrested. However, if some low-level state employee, if the receptionist over at the Department of Health Services, who, by the way, has still not answered my question as to why it is they are outsourcing their DEI department. You might remember yesterday, yet another big exclusive story we broke. They are looking for an EIB consultant. No, not Rush Limbaugh, the excellence in broadcasting. This was equity, inclusion, and belonging. They're trying to get around Trump's executive order and his threats to pull funding to any agency that still does DEI or IED or IBS or whatever other BS race-based program that they try to keep going under another name. Coming up Monday, another major, and I mean major, Wisconsin institution is trying to do just that. Well, we caught them, ladies and gentlemen, and in an exclusive story to air Monday, we will expose them. It's what we do here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. If Ivers, though, gets some secretary at the Department of Health Services to shield an illegal immigrant employee from ICE arrest, that employee would absolutely be able to be criminally charged and should be criminally charged. And everyone, now that this story has gone basically international, it still boggles my mind that no one except for me is asking the obvious question here. How many illegal aliens does Governor Evers' state government employ? Because it is completely and totally illegal to employ illegal immigrants. If Evers is employing even one, he's in violation of federal law. Do you know who thought open borders was a terrible idea? Do you know who thought deportation of illegals to protect Americans was a great idea? You probably don't, because I guarantee this is going to be the first time you hear this soundbite. It's right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, plus the daily Trump date coming up next here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Southbound on 43 at North Avenue, both shoulders are blocked with an accident. 4394 northbound at Holt, you got an accident on the right shoulder. Have one off to the left, 894 southbound at the Hale Interchange. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about fun Mother's Day gifts, all for under $15. Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. In-store only at Macy's Backstage today. Find a location near you at macysbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
The latest news.
And let's get right to it. This is just breaking right now, a major development.
Exclusive investigations.
That has been confirmed by multiple sources. It is a story you will hear only right here.
In-depth analysis.
I did some digging on this and found the truth.
And plenty of fun.
That it's time now for the strangest stories of the past week.
The Dan O'Donnell Show. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Fashion service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you across the greater Milwaukee area. Start your repair right now at mandercollision.com. Mander truly is the best decision after a collision.
I'm Ryan Harrison, owner of Ryan Waterproofing. Does it seem like storms travel hundreds of miles out of their way against prevailing winds to keep your basement damp, wet, moldy, even flooded? It isn't going to resolve itself. Freezing and thawing over time expands damage to walls, foundations, and even your family's health. That's not purified water seeping or running through your basement walls. It's filth, carrying every sort of bacteria, fungus, and mold. Only Ryan Waterproofing has an estimator, project coordinator you'll love. Ashley's expert, honest, and will make you comfortable with the solutions proposed, and she'll be with you every step of the project. Doesn't matter how bad the cracks or sag in your basement walls are. Ryan has affordable sealant and water abatement solutions for most basements with convenient financing options, including 18 months no interest financing. You actually might enjoy walking in the rain when it's not in your basement. Contact Ryan today, because praying for drought is overrated. Ryan Waterproofing. Call Ryan.com. That's call RION.com. Call Ryan.com.
Family Dentistry, Cosmetic Whitening, Ross Dental Straight Smiles, and Full Sedation Dentistry for anxious patients needing substantial restoration. Our mission? Your comfort, health, and confidence.
Smile like you just don't care.
Because you don't. RossDentalWI.com.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now's the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
Need a tree on the ground now? Cut and Go offers same day or next day half service tree removal. We do the dangerous part, putting the trees on the ground in orderly fashion. You do the cleanup. A Trees and Tons movement. CutandGoTrees.com. That's CUTNGO trees.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
111 East Kilbourne, Milwaukee. CordellCordell.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like the Beatles Now and Then, celebrating all things Beatles.
Together, you say goodbye, and I say hello.
Legendary clips, deep cuts, live performances, and all their solo hits.
On the run.
Listen commercial-free. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Beatles Now and Then, and make it your next preset.
iHeartRadio.
I just want to say I listen to you on iHeartRadio every morning.
Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
In the 5 o'clock hour, a very controversial bar in West Dallas has last call. They're advertising free drinks. What could possibly go wrong this weekend? We'll have the story. It follows an exclusive report on the Dan O'Donnell Show a couple of months ago about just a big-time controversy that supposedly the city government said had nothing to do with its liquor license being pulled, but maybe not. Right now, though, what prominent leftists said open borders are a conservative Republican idea 10 years ago? None other than Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders in a recently unearthed interview clip you will very likely only hear right here.
Open borders. That's a Koch brothers proposal. The idea, of course, I mean, that's a right-wing proposal which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot of global poor richer, wouldn't it?
It's going to make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state. And I don't think there's any country in the world which believes in that. If you believe in a nation state or in a country called the United States or UK or Denmark or any other country, you have an obligation, in my view, to do everything we can to help poor people. What right-wing people in this country would love is an open border policy. Bring in all kinds of people who work for $2 or $3 an hour. That would be great for them. I don't believe in that. I think we have to raise wages in this country. I think we have to do everything that we can to create the millions of jobs. You know what youth unemployment in the United States of America today? If you're white, a white kid, high school graduate, 33%, a Hispanic, 36%, African-American, 51%. You think we should open the borders and bring in a lot of low-wage workers? Or do you think maybe we should try to get jobs for those kids?
Couldn't have said it any better myself, Senator Sanders. Time now to get you caught up on what you might have missed coming out of the White House today while you were at work. It is our daily Trump Date.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
Well, a whole lot of winning for the Trump administration.
We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
It was a blowout jobs report this morning for the month of April. Even CNN had to acknowledge it.
We were bracing for a slowdown in the jobs market. We did not get that. We got steady hiring. This jobs market is just relentless. Let me run you through the key numbers. Yeah, let's do it. 177,000 jobs were added in the month of April. That easily beat forecasts for 135,000. So not even close there. The unemployment rate stayed low. It stayed at 4.2%.
You know how I know it was a great jobs report? Because it's nowhere to be found on the Drudge Report. Whenever there's a bad jobs report for Trump, it is front and center. Good jobs report, nowhere to be found. Late last night, addition to that, this comes in spite of Liberation Day and the Trump tariffs, and those might be ending a little sooner than we might think. China could, in fact, be blinking first. Bloomberg reported this morning that the Chinese have very quietly exempted nearly 25% of all U.S. imports from tariffs as they attempt to help their economy from the impact of the punishing Trump tariffs. As President Trump has repeatedly said, we can last a whole lot longer than they can, and this morning's move by the CCP might be helping to prove him right. Late last night, the president did sign an executive order to end public funding of National Public Radio and PBS to stop what he's calling biased and partisan news coverage. The order directs the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to, quote, cease federal funding for NPR and PBS to the extent allowed by law. Today, NPR's reporters were howling mad. And do you know what howling mad sounds like to an NPR reporter? This is an absolute outrage. President Trump should be embarrassed of what he has done to public broadcasting. The president did put out his budget proposal today. It calls for $1 trillion for defense, a 13% increase, as well as other funding priorities that the president says will make America great again. Fox News, meanwhile, has the exclusive. The president will hold a military parade in June to honor military veterans and active duty service members and commemorate the Army's 250th birthday ahead of next year's 250th Declaration of Independence anniversary party. The parade is scheduled for June 14th. That's the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army. It's also Flag Day. It is also what else? Trump's birthday. The parade will have reenactors, equipment, and more from the Revolutionary War, Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Gulf War, Desert Storm, and the Global War on Terror. It'll also feature active duty service members and students at American military academies. The parade comes after Trump in January signed an executive order creating Task Force 250 that's focused on coordinating the plans and activities celebrating the 250th anniversary of American independence. As I said, July 4th, 2026 is the 250th anniversary. The president is planning a year-long celebration from this July 4th to next. Coming up next, we name the unsung hero of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Daily Trump Day.
From the Lynch Buick GMC of West Bend Total Traffic Center.
Southbound 43 will take an hour from Brown Deer down to the Marquette. Solid delays from Hampton down to North Avenue, where you got crash cleanup continuing to block lanes on either side. I'm Kevin Henry, and that's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about fun Mother's Day gifts, all for under $15? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. In-store only at Macy's Backstage today. Find a location near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. Never drive drunk. If you do, don't believe police officers who tell you it's just a ticket and a 6-month suspension. Pay it and put this behind you. You'll likely have to install an ignition interlock device to blow into before starting your car. Protects the public and shames you with your friends and family. Your license will be revoked. You can go to jail for 1 year if caught driving revoked. Even if you swear you did never drive revoked, most people do. With a to and from work permit, one snowstorm, long meeting, or traffic jam, and you're driving revoked. An officer runs your plate while driving, and you're in even more serious trouble. You'll participate in alcohol and drug assessments, a driver's safety plan, and alcohol classes. You could even lose your job. Prosecutors will tenaciously prosecute you without empathy, regardless of your clean driving record. Your first DUI conviction never disappears from your record. Just a ticket and 6-month suspension, and a Scarlet A for life. Charged with an OWI, your best chance is to call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Picture taking your first steps into your brand new home. What do you see? Whether it's cooking meals in your 5-star kitchen or practicing downward dog in your sunroom, Valinsky Homes can handle it all. At Valinsky Homes, we know each lifestyle calls for unique home essentials. That's why we've been designing distinct and deliberate floor plans for over 60 years. Considering every last inch of space, we build new homes ready to adapt to your life's needs. Visit Valinsky.com today to find your right fit. Valinsky Homes, built for life.
My name is Emma. I'm 25 years old, and I work at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. And I just love what I do here because I feel like I helped a lot of people. I hope that other kids can have a goal that they can move out and live independently too. I've had all these opportunities because somebody said yes to me.
Live life to the fullest with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that supports people with disabilities throughout their lives. Connect with a real-time navigator at thinkabilitywi.org today.
I gave it a shot and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
There are only a handful of carpet cleaning companies in the country who guarantee results, and we're one of them. It's no wonder why we're Wisconsin's most trusted carpet cleaner.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
Josh from Infinity here. The exterior remodeling industry is notorious for wild price disparities and hidden costs. Infinity has revolutionized the exterior remodeling experience. Our custom-built app is your window into our world of clear, accurate pricing.
MJ here. No more guesswork. No more unpleasant surprises. Every detail, all materials are clear for you to see. Absolute pricing transparency makes Infinity the most trusted roofing and exterior remodeling company in the Midwest.
We built Infinity on a foundation of integrity. More than installing roofs, siding, and windows, Infinity installs peace of mind, building lifelong relationships with our customers.
Infinity's proprietary app is an extension of our commitment, providing exact line item pricing, something unheard of in roofing and exterior remodeling.
Infinity's unmatched buying power saves you money. We pay less, you pay less. Infinity provides multiple budget options real time. Everything is at your fingertips, including financing options before we leave your home.
Warranted, guaranteed quality, installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Here's why. Money. Warshevsky.
How do you define strength? Is it physical? Or is it mental? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's whatever empowers a person to dig deeper, fight harder, and overcome obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. Discover how much stronger and more confident your children can be. Encourage them to participate in a sport when they go to high school.
This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
No radio handy?
No problem. Listen to WISN's live audio stream 24/7 via the web. Just click on the Listen Online tab at newstalk1130.com.
A tour de force of truth. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Welcome back to it. You know, I almost forgot in our daily Trump date, President Trump was at the University of Alabama today to deliver the commencement address. He did a darn fine job. I watched much of the speech this afternoon.
Here in Alabama, we believe that the men and women who built this country are heroes and that America's destiny is to be the single greatest nation on the face of the earth. And we're bringing it back at a speed that nobody thought was possible. We believe in freedom and family, God and country. We cherish our Constitution. We revere our Bible, and we salute our great American flag.
They're all surviving the hero of the day.
And we are off to name the unsung hero of the day here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. It's presented by Blue Line Cleaning Services, residential and commercial cleaning done by professionals. Today's unsung heroine is Ethel Caterham. Why? Because she has just been officially named the world's oldest person. She is 115 years young. She is the first Brit to claim the title of world's oldest since 1987. She is the last surviving subject of King Edward VII. And she claimed the title after the previous record holder, Ina Canavaro Lucas, a Brazilian nun, died at the age of 116 on the 30th of April. Caterham lives in a care center in Lightwater, Surrey, and credits her longevity to her attitude in life. She told the BBC Radio back in 2020, "I've taken everything in stride, the highs and lows." And she says she has a maxim of never arguing with anyone, adding, "I listen and I do what I like. Ethel Caterham, the oldest person in the world, as confirmed by the Guinness Book of Records, your unsung heroine of the day. If you got a nominee for the unsung hero of the day, we love to highlight Wisconsin people who are just doing cool stuff. Email me, dod@iheartmedia.com. We try to, if we've got an exclusive feel-good story that we can present to our audience, we absolutely would love to do so. If there's someone in your life who just did something extraordinary or just you think deserves an attaboy, attagirl, please do email me, dod@iheartmedia.com. One of the most controversial bars in Wisconsin closing its doors for the final time this weekend. We will get into that story, how bizarre, strangest stories of the past 7 days, and so much more when the Dan O'Donnell Show returns.
Listen to Clay and Buck weekdays 11 to 2 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee, and make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon, I'm Dave Michaels. Last month's jobs report is coming in better than expected. The Labor Department says 177,000 new jobs were added last month. Minutes after the better-than-expected April jobs report, President Trump renewed his call for lower interest rates on Truth Social. And the best burger in Wisconsin is from Washington County.
The Brazen Beer Cheeseburger from West Bend's Brazen Head Pub took the top spot in the Wisconsin Beef Council's second annual Best Burger Contest. The dish tops a half pound of Angus beef served on a pretzel roll with cheddar and heart beer cheeses, bacon, and onion rings. Tad Allen, Wisconsin Radio Network.
Checking the Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard. It's the Brewers and Cubs this weekend at American Family Field. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
A few rain showers possible this evening and overnight with lows around 40, then decreasing clouds Saturday and a high around 50 lakeside, mid-50s inland. Dry to start Sunday, then evening showers return, warmer next week. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barakello.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
Hey, it's Jerry Bott. And you know, I've said it on the radio 1,000 times. The businesses who make the customer's experience their #1 priority are the ones that succeed and thrive. When I bought my SUV at Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, the customer experience blew me away. It was beyond merely professional. It was impeccable.
Gear up, get more, and drive happy. Holiday's Spring Forward Sale is your destination to score money-saving offers on a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Truck buyers, stack our low simplified price with hefty cash incentives for thousands in savings on a new Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra, or lock-in rates as low as 0.9%, plus generous cash incentives and deferred payments on many Buick and GMC favorites. Come enjoy Team Holiday's hospitality and genuine guest care. It's the stuff that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Find yours and drive it home today from Holiday Automotive Fond du Lac at holidaygm.com.
It's worth the trip.
We're the Libby family
at Do-It-Yourself Bathroom Center near State Fair on 62nd and Greenfield.
For over 41 years, we've helped Wisconsin folks create beautiful, affordable, and durable bathrooms.
You'll get our expert guidance and long-lasting quality products.
And nobody beats our prices.
I did it myself at Do-It-Yourself.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at ACCUNET.com.
I'm attorney Tom Grieve, here to tell you about Grieve Civil Law. Life is unpredictable, and the consequences of not planning for the future can be devastating. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you ended up in the hospital without the ability to make your own medical decisions? Or what will happen to your family if you die without a will? Without a power of attorney, your family could face agonizing decisions without knowing what you wanted. You could undergo medical interventions you don't want, or worse, lie in limbo while medical staff tries to determine who should have the final say in what happens to you. When you're gone, your loved ones could end up in probate with legal battles, high court costs and fees, and family disputes over your assets. In probate, everyone can see your assets, from the government to your nosy neighbors. Plan today so you can have peace of mind tomorrow. Don't leave your family in chaos and confusion. Contact Grieve Civil Law today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Visit grievecivillaw.com.
Happy window.
Is your bathroom stuck in the 90s? Sick of looking at that pink and brass? Then it's time for an upgrade. Abby Home can customize a new tub or shower conversion just for you. If you like the look of tile, but don't want the maintenance and issues that come with it, we're your perfect fit. We pull all the permits, take it down to the studs, and get you a whole new look in 2 days. Go to myabbyhome.com to learn more. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months and get 20% off your project. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen.
You're just a click away from listening to News Talk 1130 WISN in glorious digital clarity via the iHeart app. Click, enjoy, repeat.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Go-Wall Investment Group, now Creative Planning, is a registered investment advisor. Now for your business report from Creative Planning. For informational purposes only, past performance is not indicative of future results.
Good afternoon. This is Certified Financial Planner Chauncey Weisensell with your afternoon business report. The major averages climbed higher to close out the week. Investors digested a better-than-expected non-farm payrolls report for April, which eased recession fears and put the S&P 500 on pace for its longest winning streak in just over 2 decades. Meanwhile, in earnings news, shares of Amazon were mostly flat following its first quarter results. While Amazon posted better than expected earnings and revenue, the company gave soft guidance for the current period and said tariffs could possibly affect guidance in the future. Near the close, the Dow was up 598 points to 41,351. The S&P 500 was up 88 points, and the Nasdaq was up 247 points. From Creative Planning, I'm Chauncey Weisensell.
One more hour of this busy broadcast week, which, believe it or not, began in Washington, D.C., included a stop at the White House. And we'll wrap up with, is that the sun I see for what seems to be the first time today? Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. It's shaping up to be a pretty nice weekend, I think. Hope everybody enjoys theirs. Before we get to that, however, another hour of broadcast excellence, or at the very least, and let's face it, far more likely broadcast competence on the way. And let's kick it off with a chance for you to win $1,000. Spring Green Cash Contest word this hour is GRAND, G-R-A-N-D, GRAND. You've got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword GRAND. If your entry is picked at random, you will win $1,000 instantly, courtesy of us here at iHeart Media. A few weeks ago, actually, I think it was almost 2 months ago, man, time is flying. Is it just me, or is 2025 already going super fast? We are already 4 months down in this year of our Lord. Well, about 2 months ago, we here at the Dan O'Donnell Show broke a story about a raging online controversy surrounding a West Dallas bar known as the Drunk Uncle. A woman went to the Drunk Uncle that Saturday night, and she left a 1-star Google review. She said that the owner made her feel uncomfortable. Or, excuse me, a bartender made her feel uncomfortable. I want to make that part clear. It's been a couple of months, and I haven't really been following the story all that closely. The woman whose name, it's out there, she's filed a lawsuit for defamation. I'm not going to repeat it. No good could come out of it. She claimed a bartender or someone who worked at the bar touched her face inappropriately and told her to, quote, make him a sandwich for International Women's Day, which I will admit made me chuckle a little. But instead of just letting that go, the drunk uncle, the owner, on its official Facebook page, this wasn't a Google review, excuse me, it was a Facebook, posted, "You are a fat nerd with no friends." And the girl whose face was actually touched, one of the women who made the complaints, friends, was, quote, hot AF for this giant, huge snake. Direct quote from Mr. Stefik, owner of I would have expected more, frankly, out of a bar called the Drunk Uncle. All of my drunk uncles are much more, genteel than that. It's a dive bar in West Dallas. What the hell do you expect? But this became a massive controversy. And in the comments of this review, the drunk uncle, Stefik, using the drunk uncle's Facebook profile, kept going at it and kept just ripping on this woman. She eventually sued him for defamation. That case is still ongoing. Well, as a result of these comments, there was an investigation sort of opened into the drunk uncle, which apparently lost its ability to sell liquor after the state of Wisconsin revoked its seller's permit last August because it didn't pay sales taxes. Now, the city attorney launched a hearing into this, and it appears as though the drunk uncle has given up. Posting on its Facebook page, "We will start with this. Any negative comments will result in you getting blocked." This was because pretty much every woman in the country descended on this bar's Facebook page as a result of this and started leaving negative reviews, saying this is terrible, the owner is a misogynist, it's awful. I talked with Stefik just very briefly off the air. He said, look, the situation was reversed. It was actually this woman's friend who was completely drunk and inappropriate. She was trying to make out with our bar back, and she was sloppy drunk and sexually assaulted him. And I'm thinking, okay, Neil, yeah, that doesn't totally sound right. I mean, yeah, okay, people can get sloppy, but there were multiple people who apparently saw this interaction. And I actually went back and took a look at some of the other reviews that came in long before this controversy over on Facebook. And all of the negative ones painted a similar picture. Hey, the owner was drunk. He was swearing. He was doing inappropriate things. And I asked Stefik, hey, how do you square that? He said, well, they're lying. And, I've heard this a million times before. He writes, with a tear in my eye, we have to announce that things don't look so good for the world famous drunk uncle after 12 years of having fun, giving back, and loving our friends and community. I won't get into the details because I'm sure everyone has seen the news over the last 2 months, but I will say this. I hold absolutely no ill feelings at anyone at City Hall. They have a very difficult job, and I'm sure this will be the hardest decision to make of their careers if the decision goes against us. So in saying that, I can't take the beer and booze with me, so let's put it in your bellies instead. Saturday, we unlock the doors at 2 p.m. and every beverage is free. Put it in your belly and be happy. I'm sure there will be some tears shed, but let's turn the frown upside down and enjoy one last weekend. It seems like the thing you wouldn't want to do if there are all sorts of sloppy, drunk women sexually assaulting your staff. But what do I know? What do I know as a mere radio host? If you want free booze, go to the drunk uncle, I guess. I myself will be busy, and as the guy who broke the story, probably wouldn't. Actually, I take that back. Stefik was very nice in the brief time. I decided that a relative of the woman who was suing also called saying, well, she really wants to talk to you. I said, you know what? If there's litigation involved, I'm out. I don't want to be deposed, okay? I don't want to sit for an hour-long deposition. So, Mr. O'Donnell, I refer to your transcript where you made the following jokes about, no, I don't want to do that. Well, in the course of the investigation into this controversy, there were some other pretty serious allegations made against this drunk uncle. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel has the story. Weirdly enough, exactly 1 year, and I mean exactly 1 year before this woman filed the Facebook review that led to the massive controversy, March 8th, 2024. A man at the drunk uncle reported Stefik appeared intoxicated and had difficulty standing. The man said he observed Stefik lift his shirt and expose himself while speaking to a woman, making several inappropriate sexual comments about her exposing herself. Come on. He lifted up his shirt. Okay, saying, why don't you show me your you-know-whats? Yes, that is highly inappropriate. That's not exposing himself. That said, no, I will not expose myself to you watching on the Dano cam. The man reported Stefik took the woman's wrist and attempted to lead her behind the bar while she resisted. He also said Stefik poured large shots of alcohol for both of them and encouraged her to drink despite her appearing visibly uncomfortable. As the man tried to help the woman by distracting Stefik with his friends, another man, later identified as the woman's husband, returned from the restroom. The woman told her husband what happened, and he confronted Stefik, who allegedly became argumentative, accused them of lying, called them woke, and shouted, leave a review. I don't care. I've had this bar for 11 years. No one will take it from me. Oh, that is just unfortunate. You know what that is? I never before was a big believer in karma. I am starting to come around. I am starting to see God's sense of humor. That exactly 1 year later, almost the exact same behavior, starting with a review, led him to the place he's at with his bar being taken from him. The woman apparently confirmed the incident to police on March 30th. How bizarre. Well, no, that's not bizarre. I would love to blame my new producer. That was me accidentally hitting the wrong mouse. I have two computers, one for our sound bites, one for my notes and such. Accidentally hit the wrong one. That startled the heck out of me. And yes, it is bizarre. It is also very serious. The woman confirmed the incident to police March 30th, saying she hadn't come forward earlier out of fear of retaliation. I'm not going to comment on that, but she came forward a year later after. Now, sometimes this happens. Sometimes it's not necessarily fear of retaliation, but it's just, okay, this guy's a creepy jerk. Put it out of your mind. A few weeks earlier, another woman says the exact same thing. She says, okay, look, he's clearly doing this to other women. There were two other counts. May 26th, 2024, a woman said she went to the drunk uncle with a group of friends. After being at the bar for 20 to 25 minutes, the woman went outside for a cigarette break with another female friend. While the women were exiting the bar, they observed Stefik, who is visibly intoxicated, wearing a colorful outfit. He identified himself as the owner of the bar. Without warning, Stefik began to allegedly berate the women by calling them white trash and sluts. This caused the women to move away from the bar out of fear of Stefik. They decided to return inside the bar to grab the rest of their friends and leave again, but were blocked at the door by Stefik, who berated the women again and threatened to shoot and kill them. While stumbling over his speech, he allegedly stated, "I've been killing for 20 years. I've killed plenty of pieces of bleep like you before." He then referenced a gun he owned and began to reach toward his waistband. The woman immediately left the bar and went back to her vehicle to call her friends and the police. Her friend later confirmed the account to police, describing Stefik as a white male with a beard, belligerent, and, quote, dressed not very nice. The fifth count against him. A woman who, as a patron, had known Stefik for 4 years, told police that he frequently greeted her by lifting his shirt to expose his chest and telling her, "It's your turn." She said this occurred approximately 10 times. So now we know his pickup line, at least. I can't imagine that this has worked too often. She described the behavior as disgusting, said it made her feel violated, prompting her to stop visiting the bar, saying she didn't report this earlier out of fear of retaliation. September 24th of last year, police officer conducting a routine tavern check said the bar had approximately 20 people inside. Officer noted most of them had alcohol. The officer spoke with 2 female bartenders who had served. The women confirmed neither of them had a valid operator's license to tend at the bar. Officer then told the bar to stop serving alcohol and had staff contact Stefik to advise him that he needed to be at the business to supervise any unlicensed bartenders. Count 7. All of these are as a result of the investigation into what happened with this woman. Well, July 1st, West Dallas Common Council renewed the Drunk Uncle's Tavern license. July 18th, the Department of Revenue informed the city that Stefik's seller's permit had been revoked or suspended. Police department conducted tavern checks, confirmed the business was still operating, still selling alcohol on multiple dates. Seems to me, and I don't want to be judgy here. Seems to be maybe if you're a woman, going to this place tomorrow for the free booze might not be the best idea. I don't want to be, you just, As the father of a young woman who is not going to be of legal drinking age for quite some time, I nonetheless, well, Jeff, you've got a daughter. How old is she? She's 18. Hopefully not going to the bars yet. Would you ever let her, let's say the Drunk Uncle was not closing, would you ever let her go to the Drunk Uncle when she turns 21? Not after hearing this. Exactly. There are some places and it's one thing, okay. If this was one incident and Stefik had just been a little, he's boozed up. He says stupid stuff. He regrets it. He said, there's a years long pattern. I went back through every review going back since Facebook started reviews, for goodness sakes, same pattern of behavior. And I would just very strongly caution, I guess the dad in me is coming out. If you're a young woman, especially, guys, let's face it, you can, for the most part, take care of yourselves. The biggest issue for you is just getting so blackout drunk that you do something that, gets you in trouble. You get behind the wheel, you get into a fight, alcohol poisoning, whatever. But young ladies, man, please, please, please keep your wits about you. Just watch out when you're going out and partying. I know nobody wants to hear this from a middle-aged dude, but as a dad, just following this story over the past couple of months, and I kind of, didn't really put it on the front burner until I realized that the inevitable end was coming. There are people out there who just they don't want to do good things. And please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying Stefik is one of them, but I am saying that the stuff that was going on at this bar just did not seem to be very good. All right, let's lighten the mood with a woman doing all sorts of unholy things on another woman's car hood. How bizarre. The strangest stories of the past 7 days. Coming up next here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
From the Lynch GM Superstore in Burlington, Total Traffic Center.
Southbound 4145, slow from Good Hope down to Burleigh, ongoing right lane construction. Got that construction northbound as well, causing some heavy delays between Watertown, Plank, and Hampton. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
Rocket.com is the new home for all things home ownership. Whether you're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started, all under one roof. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
I'm Larry Brinkman, president of Dornbrook Construction. Dornbrook Construction has installed concrete in every industrial and commercial setting from the Milwaukee Airport to Campbell's Soup. From big shots in manufacturing and industry, locally as well as the up-and-coming businesses in southeastern Wisconsin. Big business chooses Dornbrook because they know Dornbrook is ACI certified, fully licensed, insured, and bonded. And they know for 25 years, Dornbrook stands behind every square foot of concrete we install. Little businesses choose Dornbrook for all those reasons, and also because they can afford to choose Dornbrook. Dornbrook is industry's choice for commercial concrete because we do perfect business efficiency-minded preparation and installation on every job. We know you aren't closing your business to have concrete work done. 25 years of experience ensures your loading dock or dumpster pad or machine base or huge flat concrete job isn't our first go-around. Standing behind the concrete Wisconsin businesses and residents stand on, Dornbrook Construction. DornbrookConstruction.com. 414-333-0642.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
I'm Josh Sparks, owner of Infinity Exteriors. 9 out of 10 brand new roofs can't pass a simple manufacturer warranty inspection. Every Infinity roof does.
MJ, Josh's partner here, protecting homeowners for decades to come, always installing roofs, siding, and windows to better than manufacturer warranty specifications is how we built Infinity to the most successful exterior remodeling company in the Midwest.
It's your home, it's your roof. With Infinity, it's all about you.
Infinity passes on buying power no other roofer has, saving you money.
Infinity provides absolute transparency in pricing with our proprietary app, showing exactly what Infinity is going to do and exactly what everything will cost line by line, real time.
No waiting 3 days to a week for a quote.
If you like what you see,
and you will,
Infinity can schedule your new roof, siding, or windows, including financing, right there in your home. No hassle, no waiting.
Warranted, guaranteed quality. Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
That's InfinityRoofing.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference. Critical events drive critical times, and these are the times to learn critical lessons. Recent events should teach us that the struggle for liberty is ongoing, and forces that are misguided or sinister stand at the ready to take our liberties away. At News Talk 1130 WISN, we are dedicated to identifying the risks to our freedoms as they arise, and to alert you to those risks, valuing our liberties and our rights. This is News Talk 1130 WISN. We report, you decide. Factual, fair, and balanced coverage. Your exclusive home of Fox News Radio. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to apologize in advance for this week. It is a, shall we say, rather brown edition of one of our most popular. I have no idea. 2 of the 3 stories that we have involve very public poopings. I have no idea why, but these are the most viral weird stories of the week, and they are shockingly similar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time here on the Dan O'Donnell Show to cast aside the cares of a workaday world on a Friday afternoon, a beautiful sunny Friday afternoon. Let's hit into the weekend with the stories of the week that made us scratch our heads and say to ourselves, all right, when I say I apologize, I mean it. This woman was locked and loaded. She's from Pennsylvania. She was caught on camera defecating on another driver's car during a revolting road rage incident Tuesday, then bizarrely bragging about it being a clean poop, according to the police report. Christina Solamato is 44 years old. She's accused of doing a number 2 on the vehicle following a dispute that began after one of the 2 drivers cut off the other on a street, according to NBC 10 in the Pittsburgh area, or as you will, nope, I'm not going to make that pun. The victimized driver didn't report the poop-filled fracas. The disgusting act, videotaped by a bystander, then posted to Instagram. The footage shows a woman hop out of her vehicle, storm over to the other car, pull down her pants, and then squat on the grill of the other car, ripping loose, according to the New York Post, in just a matter of seconds as the other driver honked. I tell you, folks, it is simultaneously the grossest and funniest thing I've seen in a while. Solamato was identified, and police charged her with disorderly conduct, indecent exposure, criminal mischief, harassment, and depositing waste on the highway. She allegedly told police in court documents obtained by TMZ this week, quote, "It was a clean poop. I didn't even have to wipe. Lady, I saw it. It was most certainly not a clean poop." Solamato, who flashed a wide smile in her booking photo, also allegedly said the other owner the car driver called her a bad name. She opted to drop a deuce instead of turning to violence. Prospect Park Police Chief Dave Madonna tells NBC 10, "I know it's being joked about a lot. There's all kinds of puns and innuendos online, but bottom line, we are treating it seriously." Really, Chief? Really? Bottom line?
How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre.
All right, I swear I'm not making this up. Seeing as I was on a Southwest flight on Friday and another one on Sunday, as you can imagine, this was the talk of my Vegas group on Saturday when the news broke that police were called to a Southwest flight landing in Chicago after reports that a passenger removed her clothes and pooped on her seat, according to NBC News. Flight 418, en route from Philadelphia to to Midway was met by law enforcement officers and medical personnel responding to a situation you mean nope, again, not going to make that obvious pun, involving a female passenger. Source with knowledge tells NBC News the passenger removed all her clothes and defecated on the seat, forcing the plane to be taken out of rotation for cleaning. Now, I tried to, once the White House called me to say, hey, Dan, we'd really like you to come to our event on Tuesday. I tried to get on an earlier flight than the one I was on. It got delayed, right? Very, very late into Sunday night. And we were speculating that because this flight was taken out of service by Southwest the day earlier, did that have an impact on the rest of Southwest's flights? Well, the airline wouldn't answer that specific question, but said, our teams are reaching out to those on board to apologize for the situation and any delays to their travel plans. At Southwest, nothing is more important than the safety of our customers and employees, and we appreciate the professionalism of our crew.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
And finally, in this How Bizarre segment, a story that sounds like it could come out of downtown Milwaukee, but is actually out of Great Britain. A man unwittingly bought back his own stolen car without realizing it. Ewan Valentine says he was devastated when his Honda Civic was stolen 2 months ago. It was his pride and joy. It's a 9-year-old car, but it's pretty souped up, can do 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, top speed of 168 miles an hour. He really wanted to replace it, and the 36-year-old searched high and low for a similar car. He came across one he thought was just like it. Man, this is very close to my car. It wasn't until after he'd shelled out over 20,000 euros that he realized it was really his old car. He said, in February, my partner woke up around 5 a.m. to drive to the office and ask where my car was. Slightly dazed, I looked out the window. Sure enough, it was gone. A few weeks passed. I was dealing with the police and the insurance company, but not so much was happening. So I decided to start looking to replace the car. It was a bit of a midlife crisis car. You don't get many of those. So I was looking for a more or less identical car, and the one that caught my eye was identical. Color, make, model, even down to the custom exhaust system. That didn't tip him off. He said it seemed perfect. The new Honda had a different license plate on it, but Ewan added, I went down to the garage to check it over, but I think my judgment was a little clouded by how desperate I was to replace my car. I didn't do the most thorough check. I drove it all the way back home to buy a steering wheel lock, but when I went to put a few things in the trunk, I noticed a tent peg and some Christmas tree pines in there. I had also shattered a bottle of beer about a year before and could never quite get rid of the smell. So I could smell beer. I also noticed some wrappers in the central column that were mine. I started driving home feeling a little strange about this situation because it could have all been a coincidence. So suddenly I have the idea of checking the navigation history on the computer. Sure enough, there was my address, my parents' address, my partner's address, and places we'd visited the previous couple of years. Then it dawned on me that my phone connected instantly as I left the garage rather than needing to pair it as a new device. Rather obviously, it was my car. He said, I contacted the police immediately, checked the car for VIN numbers. It didn't match my original car. There were indications that things had been tampered with. He noticed scratches and marks on the car that were the same. A few days later, the police managed to talk the local garage into looking to the car immediately. I met the police officer there. Basically, they figured out exactly where it came from, the garage it came from, and They are looking into who sold the car to the garage that then sold it back. They think an arrest is imminent. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your weekly look back at the strangest. Imagine that. He didn't realize immediately. I mean, it's got to be a very jarring situation. This has been your weekly look back at the strangest stories of the past 7 days in a segment we call...
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Southbound on 894 at the Hale interchange, you got a crash off to the left shoulder. Eastbound delays from the Hale interchange over to 76. Westbound a little tight around 60th. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
Lowe's knows that with job site delivery, you can get what you need without losing valuable time. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
I'm Kelly Lammert from Clean Living Environments. Virtually everyone who cleans ducts repairs and sells air conditioners, furnaces, water heaters, or whatever. Duct cleaning is secondary. Clean Living Environments, partners for your comfort and health and your economy. Our superior agitation, high power suction gets more of everything you don't want in ducts out than suction alone can. We're happy with a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. We charge less for superior duct cleaning. Once ducts are Clean Living Environments clean, our ducts-only technicians can seal them. Neighboring states give $500 energy bill credit for existing homeowners who have ducts sealed because sealing saves natural gas waste forever, helping heated or cooled air get where it's supposed to be. If you've been quoted for duct cleaning, I personally guarantee Clean Living Environments will get more out of your ducts, charging less. With natural gas prices skyrocketing upward, Clean Living Environments AeroSeal duct cleaning is a prudent, long-term home budget saver. Get more out of your ducts. CleanLivingEnvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
Hi, it's Jay. Did you know that Coal Investment Group is now Creative Planning? Coal has been helping clients with custom retirement plans for over 37 years and has now expanded the depth and breadth of services by joining Creative Planning. They provide full-service wealth management, which includes investments, taxes, estate plans, insurance, and business owner services. Visit creativeplanning.com to schedule your introductory meeting. That's creativeplanning.com.
Paid for by Creative Planning, an SEC registered investment advisor. The speaker's statements are not an endorsement of the firm.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. Mom and Dad own Cut and Go Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. American patriots will enjoy a 5% discount for flying the American flag and mentioning this commercial when the Cut and Go remote control, automobile mounted, articulated crane, grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. An all-American Tons of Trees movement, cutandgotrees.com. That's CUTNGOTREES.com.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available
available. Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Managed IT support from Central Office Systems is qualified technicians.
Answering your call within 1 minute.
Grateful to support your business.
Solving any IT problem as fast as humanly possible.
Network security, network support.
CentralOfficeSystems.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like the Beatles Now and Then, celebrating all things Beatles.
Together, you say goodbye, and I say hello.
Legendary clips, deep cuts, live performances, and all their solo hits.
And on the run.
Listen commercial-free. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Beatles Now and Then, and make it your next preset.
iHeartRadio.
I'm Mark Belling, and my podcast is here, and I'm tackling the world. You can find me on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts. Type Mark Belling Podcast in the search and hang on for the ride.
The Mark Belling Podcast is presented by Uline. For quality shipping and industrial supplies, Uline has everything in stock. Visit uline.com. Also supported by Cunis Auto and RV. The Mark Belling Podcast, now available at iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. Classical conservatism. Contemporary style. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
I am being informed by one of my friends who looked into the Drunk Uncle's free beer Saturday afternoon. There is apparently a $20 cover charge. Another one of my friends says, I'm on way too many text chains. I would love to know. I want like Reuters, or not Reuters, who does polling, like Pew Research, to do a survey. How many text chains is the average American person on? I'm on way too damn many. Let's see. All right. Another friend says the dude was sketchy, but A, the bar is called the Drunk Uncle. What do you expect? That is a very relevant and salient point. B, the one time I was there was for a fundraiser, which I feel he did a lot, giving away free beer with any money for tips or suicide prevention. And C, he sold $2 tall boys of old style. So, okay, no one who sells $2 tall boys could be a bad guy. Worst human being, the owner of the Drunk Uncle or Tyrese Halliburton's dad? Tyrese, yep. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who, I don't know if you heard the audio. I don't think we have time to bust that out of the wife. There's audio of her getting a second protective order, basically begging, hey, he slapped me. He said he could kill me and he would get away with it. There's also video Fox News found of his arrest in a human smuggling operation. He was working for a known human trafficker in Tennessee. There was, in the van he was driving, a back seat. There were blacked out windows, and there was an extra area for seating that's well known to be for smuggling illegals across the border and moving them across state lines. It's clearly what he was doing, because he was a member of MS-13. Is it the single worst political decision in the history of the Democratic Party for the Maryland senator, Van Hollen, was that the senator? Chris Van Hollen, to go down and gaze lovingly into the eyes of Kilmar while having margaritas? By the way, you and I paid for that trip. That was a taxpayer-funded trip for Senator Van Hollen to head down for a romantic drink date with MS-13 gangbanger Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Who is a worse human being, Kilmar Abrego Garcia or Tyrese Halliburton's dad? You say Kilmar? I'm still going to go Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Minus the human smuggling, minus the wife beating, he actually does seem to be a very good and very loving father. I still think it's Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Okay, the woman who pooped all over that other woman's car in the road rage incident in Pennsylvania, or Tyrese Halliburton's dad? Who's the worst human being? Tyrese's dad? Yeah, because she just sprayed poop. He's a giant piece of poop himself. All right, woman who pooped on the Southwest plane, possibly delaying my flight home from Las Vegas the next day. Or Tyrese Halliburton's dad? Tyrese Halliburton's dad? I'm going to go poop lady on this one because that one personally impacted me. All right. Tony Evers for giving out very unlawful advice and potentially ordering state employees to commit federal crimes by shielding illegal immigrants from ICE, or Tyrese Halliburton's dad? You say Evers? All right, how about this? If Tony Evers would allow ICE agents to deport Tyrese Halliburton's dad, would you say Evers or Halliburton's dad? Halliburton's dad. Do you think if the Wisconsin Democratic Party would be in favor of deporting one person to that giant prison in El Salvador, would it be Tyrese Halliburton's dad? Yes. Now, you can't pick Republican. You can't pick Trump. You can't pick Tom Homan. You can't pick Musk. Who else do they love? Who else do they hate now? Is it back to Trump? Who's the new Hitler? These are questions that sort of float through my mind on a Friday afternoon. It seems like they have not had Elon Musk hate. It seems like they have stopped. Unless that woman pooped all over a cyber truck and I'm not aware, it seems like they are done raging at people who drive Teslas. The Target could find me because Jeff, my producer, says the Target could find me because it was my report that could end up leading to Tyrese Halliburton. Do you think there will be, okay, here's another question. Do you think I will be hated more if Evers gets arrested and charged? Will I be hated more than when I reported on that meteorologist from CBS 58 who posted something like bleep Elon Musk and bleep you too, and then she was fired and everybody blamed me? I'd be hated more? Would I be more hated than Tyrese Halliburton's dad? No, still no. All right. Well, I got that going for me, which is nice. No, do I think they're going to arrest Tony Evers? I've been getting that question pretty much all afternoon. No, I do not. I absolutely do not. I think, though, if there are more Hannah Dugans out there who actually did physically impede a law enforcement investigation and possibly use the power of government to do so, you can't make the claim, I believe anyway, that Evers is first of all, we don't even know that Evers was aware that this order was given. All right. I'm not even convinced he has all of his faculties and performs all of it. I've been joking for probably going on 8 years now that Governor Evers isn't the real governor, that it's actually his chief of staff, Maggie Gao. In fact, I refer to her as Wisconsin's real governor, Maggie Gao. I'm not sure he was aware that that order was given. Can you prove that it was he who gave that order? And then was it somebody from state government? Let's say they do shield an illegal from arrest. Can you prove that it was because of that memo? No, you probably can't. So no, I think Evers has absolutely nothing to worry about for getting arrested. He can take his 10 a.m. nap in peace. Who am I kidding? He's already in bed for the evening. He didn't hear this. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We wrap up a busy broadcast week next.
From the Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha Total Traffic Center.
Got a couple crashes out there, 894 eastbound near 76th. It's off to the right shoulder. Over on 94 westbound, a crash on the ramp from 70th Street, and 4394 northbound at Holt. You got an accident on the side. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Argo Glass and Windows.
No need to replace windows when you can repair them. Argo Glass and Windows, always offering free estimates. Rotted wood, foggy glass, hard to slide patio door. There's no need to replace if you can repair them. Visit ArgoWindowRepair.com.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition to adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
I am super glad I have Down syndrome. I love my life. Don't be afraid if you want to have a job and live on your own.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
I'm Dave Brownsdorf, president of Flawless Flooring. Realtor.com says depending on location and a few other factors, new hardwood floors add as much as 2.5% to a home sale value, even if you plan to sell. Enjoy home more now while increasing your sale price with Flawless's LVP, hardwood, or amazing realistic, super wear-resistant modern laminate plank. Steamy wet dog and litter box aromas bother homeowners and buyers. But you say, Dave, we want the sound deadening and warmth underfoot of carpet? Our Delafield and New Berlin showrooms have countless style and combination flooring choices, including quality luxury carpet lines. Steamy stains and carpet stink, including pet fluids, wipe off Flawless Flooring's luxury vinyl plank and modern laminate plank, zero steam effortlessly. Our employee-only craftsmen meticulously refinish existing hardwood, even perfectly blending additional hardwood with existing. With Flawless's nothing down, zero interest financing, upgrade today and pay over 21 months. Sensory underload, Flawless Flooring. FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
I'm Total Health's Jay Johnson, the Falls and New Berlin. Remember looking forward to playing with your kids or grandkids and having the energy to? At Total Health, we hear it all the time. People say I'm too tired and worn out to be the person my spouse married or parent or grandparent my family deserves. Sound familiar? Total Health naturopaths find root causes of fatigue and lethargy, then treat you, the whole person, restoring energy and overall wellness. It could be dietary or thyroid function, or maybe you just need to drop some weight. Big Medicine's weight loss injection causing stomach, gallbladder, intestinal, and vascular problems works for them. Sick people are profitable. If excess weight is a contributing factor to you not feeling your best, Total Health naturopaths will never judge you. We'll be honest, providing the tools and motivation to lose weight. Then we'll be with you throughout your journey to feeling happy, healthier, energetic, and well. Be that person your family deserves. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com. That's TotalHealthInc.com.
I'm Victor Harding, a true trial attorney at Warshevsky Law. You've heard our advertising for years. While it's been effective introducing Warshevsky to injured people in need of maximum judgments and settlements, most of our clients come from personal referral. Referrals from former clients grateful for the settlement or trial judgment Warshevsky won on their behalf. Thus, they're recommending us to friends and family. Referrals from people in the community, including other lawyers and judges who want to make sure their friends and family are taken care of. Still not sure? Ask around. Warshevsky is referred by Wisconsin law enforcement officers who've seen Warshevsky attorneys in action, desperate to make sure friends and family receive just compensation. Insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family members hurt in accidents. They know the work we do. They all refer Warshevsky because big case or small, we can help. If someone you love is injured, please let them know, because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Wisconsin.
This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Here's another one for you. Who is a worse human being, your average Chicago Cubs fan or Tyrese Halliburton's dad? Cubs fan, says producer Jeff. I love you, Cubs fans. The Cubs, of course, come to town for a big series at American Family Field. Brewers are 16-16. They look every bit like a 500 team. They get wins against the Chicago White Sox, who are just absolutely abysmal, right? They take 3 of 4 in that series. They, get smoked by the New York Yankees to open it up. They're just back and forth, right? They're just exactly what I think a lot of us thought that they were going to be at the beginning of the season. Big homestand. It's then the Houston Astros coming to town. Astros they're pretty good this year, aren't they? Yeah. Producer Jeff is also, are you doing the post-game show? Yeah, you're doing the post-game show for the Brewers. A role I filled for many, many years in another life. I didn't have a whole lot of hope coming into this season that the Brewers, I think Mark Atanasio was trying to say something back in February when he had that now infamous quote, well, what's the job of a baseball team? To win games or to provide fans with a fun summer evening? Win games, Mark. It's always to win games. But I think he knew just as much as a lot of the baseball people knew. It's just not going to be the Brewers' year, which is unfortunate because it looks like next year is not going to be the Bucs' year either. But hey, at least the Packers finally have a number 1 draft pick wide receiver. The hopes of this state, sports-wise, as most years, rest, it seems, on the Green Bay Packers. Hope everyone has a fun, safe, and enjoyable weekend. We are back Monday afternoon, 3:06, to do it all again right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.